Cool.
Welcome, welcome. Manager in the Mirror installment 9 or 8 if we re-record Dan's. We got Cosby's, what is it?
Deep sleepers.
Cosby's Deep Sleepers. Luke Witt on live. How are we doing, Luke?
Very good. Thank you boys for having me. Um, before we start, I will say this has definitely been my favorite fantasy league I've taken a part of. Um, ever since Ryan's House 2019 draft. I mean, I felt like we've formed a nice family. Very grateful to be able to continue throughout these years with you guys. So very
Oh
exciting
yeah.
stuff.
Love it. It's a great league. It's a great league. I
Can't
can
wait to give
easily
the
say the
team to my
same.
kids. It sucks that this is going to be our maybe first not in-person draft. Is that right?
We've had drafts over the phone and over Zoom,
Have we? Oh,
which we
well,
can
Yep.
still do Thursday. We can hop on Zoom,
we can. Um,
FaceTime or phone call. We
So
did a phone
before
call
we
last year.
get into the man himself, we got a couple trades to dissect, one including the I just learned transaction goat of the league, Luke Witt. Um, so he moved back 2 spots in the second from the 12 to the 14 and took Jaleel McLaughlin as compensation for that. We love compensation. How do we feel about the trade?
Yep. Well, me and Nico, we always have our little tidbits here and there. This is definitely more of an elevated trade. We're usually passing around Chris Carson for a 6 round, so I'd say this is a bit of a step up. Um, I guess, I mean, my reasoning, I'm not really looking for anything crazy in the draft this year. I once again don't have a first rounder. It's kind of been a thing for me, a little theme going on, but Nico approached me and, we're very cordial and I thought I could move back a couple spots and still be in that, middle tier receiver range, or even if I want to keep stacking up running backs, a few of them probably will still be there. Some of the better cut of the litter. So, I mean, nothing crazy, not a blockbuster, but, and, I got a little depth behind Javante now if that ends up working out. Jaleel showed some flashes this past season, and we'll see if that continues. See if Sean Payton still trusts him as a backup.
For sure, got your handcuff. And then we had a meteor trade as of more recently. Rob
Yep.
sent Stefan Diggs and uh, DeAndre Swift, and he received the 12 pick that was just mentioned, and Luke Musgrave. What do we think about that one?
I really liked it. That I think was a trade that really made sense both ways. I've talked before. I think Nico's a team that can win now, and he added two pieces that should do it for two pieces that probably won't help him win now, but are good long-term pieces. Like I think Rob, they're the kind of assets Rob should be trying to getting off of Diggs now for solid value is smart. So I see it as a win-win. I really liked it.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought Rob might be shoving this year. I think he still kind of is, but I get getting out on Dig thing 4 years ago. So I might have called that one a little early. I think he's doing it at the right time. New system. Obviously, it's a good offense, but a lot of cooks in the kitchen. So I could see getting out now. And Luke was getting to it, but the one of the deeper drafts we may ever see. So that 12 pick could be good. And yeah, I liked it for everyone as well.
Yeah, I mean, Nico gets his stack. I mean, it's huge. It's a massive push for his stardom potentially. I mean, we know he's got one of the most dangerous young teams, arguably the best one, in terms of youthfulness. So I like it. I
He's no
support it.
bottom feeder anymore, and he wanted to make sure everyone knew that.
That's right.
It could be a worst to first year. I don't know. I don't think his moves are done, and we'll see what this draft looks like for him. But now for the man of the hour. Just a quick recap as to how Luke's coming in. In 2022, he went 6-9, and then in the draft, he got Michael Mayer at the back of the first. Uh, of course, he got Chris Carson, and the picks that became Anthony Richardson, Michael Mayer, and Dwayne McBride for Cavante Turpin and the picks that became Roshan, Luke Musgrave, CJ Stroud, and Jesse's 24 first. And then through the season, or actually this was still before the season, he traded with me, and he got Jordan Love, Christian Watson, J.K. Dobbins at third and a fourth, and sent Chris Godwin, Justin Fields, and the picks that became Anthony Richardson. No, the pick that became Anthony Richardson, as well as Devin Singletary. All said and done, rounded out 2023, 4-11, and ninth in the league.
And worst manager.
And
Worst manager. Don't forget that. That's part of my revenge campaign. I mean, as you know, there's a lot of swings in fantasy football. I, for one, love to make moves. You know, I move assets around all the time. I got the most transactions by 40 or something, you know, between waiver ads and such. So, hey, man, it's a cruel game. You could be on top of the world one year and you go all the way back down to the basement. So I'm here for it. I love it. And, you know, there's not too many trades that I usually regret. I'm sure. Who has Justin Jefferson? I forget. Is it someone on this call? Yeah. That was a toughie. You know, there's moves in the you know present that seem good that don't end up working out, but you miss every shot you don't take.
That's for sure. You're the tinkerer extraordinaire, so you can never count you out.
That's true.
So yeah, we got some questions for you and the Cosby deep sleepers. So
Yeah.
without further ado, I was just wondering, last year obviously at a certain point became a pretty non-competitive year for you. But you never really sold your Cooper Cups and what have you, your aging assets. And now this year you pushed in for Saquon, um, Amari Cooper, really put that future draft capital in to fill out the starting lineup. Were you ever really set on tanking, or has it just been, I'm gonna retool and I'm gonna get back at it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to tank, man. I'm a patient guy, but I want to get some wins up on the board no matter what. So, I mean, I saw it. I mean, my roster towards the end of last year, I mean, I could have done a move similar to what we just saw with Diggs after I won in 2022, 2021, 22, where I moved off Cup for some, you know, maximum value coming off his Triple Crown year. But I loved him too much. I couldn't let him go, just between us. So
Yeah.
I saw a lot of youthfulness on my roster. You know, I have a lot of young talents, whether it be Pickens, JMO, and I got QJ. Judy is still, you know, on the table. Now he's on
I
Deshaun. I
still
got a
like
little
Judy.
stacked there.
Pacheco.
Yeah, everybody hates on him, even
Echo.
on Twitter. I am still a believer, so we're gonna push through with him. But so you know, the pieces were there. Christian Watson, you know, he's still a lot of these guys still have time to break out. So I wanted to get some veteran presence in the room and really fill out the lineup, as you're saying. I felt I needed a real stud at running back. You know, I stole Pacheco in the sixth round of the rookie draft. That was great. Javante, you know, coming off the injury last year, didn't really get too much time, so he's going to be 1 year removed from that ACL. So I wanted to, you know, get some winners on the team, man. I needed, you know, we had a young locker room. We got to get some veterans in, some guys who have experience, and we can really pull together.
Yeah. Well, that leads in well into my next question. I was scouting. I was coming up with some questions, and I'll admit, you had won in 2021, and then you had kind of fallen since then. I knew that you were shopping Cup. I kind of assumed when I pulled it up, I was going to be looking at a real aging, real kind of, scattered roster in the works. And I was surprised. I think you're real deep at a lot of positions. You got a ton of youth that I honestly didn't realize before I was doing said research. Um, is there anything that you have, scheme wise for the rest of this off season or the early parts of this season where you're gonna try and get more vets in or anything like that? Is there any concrete plan, or are you just gonna roll with the punches?
Yeah, I mean, what I've built over this off season, I think there could be some more room if someone wanted to dabble. You know, I'm always open for trades, as you guys know. But I really feel that what I've built is both a win now, and if things don't work out, I have enough backup juice to plug in, especially if I build up some draft capital next year. But we'll cross it when we get there. Um, I really I like the squad, man. I really do. I don't really think there's a real gaping hole that I need to fill as of right now to answer your question, but we're just gonna let it ride. We're just gonna let it ride. I mean, it's gonna be, there's still some question marks, especially on my team in terms of can people still produce at their age, or will people break out finally, become that wide receiver one or that RB1 that I've really been looking for, like a nice cornerstone. But I like it. I like the moves I made. I think I'm ready to roll and going into the season.
Love it.
I like it. I like it. So we just had the roast of Tom Brady. So it only feels right now that we take a pause for the roast of Tom Griffin. When Tom Griffin steps on the scale, his phone number comes up. I wish it was Kathy's. One day, one day.
God, my goodness.
I can't believe you can
Um,
say
uh,
something like that.
But what can I say? It just seemed
we're
right for the moment. It did. It did.
That's phenomenal. My goodness.
Yes. Back to Team Wit.
We're just gonna leave it. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. I don't need to say anything more to that. That's cool.
So you
Holy
added
moly.
Hurts in the super flex draft, and then we talked about it. You added Saquon.
Yeah.
You got the Sixers flag in the background. We're an Eagles heavy league. Safe to say you're excited for the Eagles O this year?
Yeah, I mean, I just saw a Twitter video today. It was Hertz handing it off to Saquon. Not in pads, just in t-shirts and whatever. But man, I got so excited. Yeah, the whole offense is gonna be great. We signed our two wide receivers long term. All the pieces are in place, and I can't speak highly enough on how excited I am for this team. And as you guys know, I can't get the wide receivers off people's hands. That's a little harder, as you know, but I got the other two boys, and they're ready to roll. So that's going to be extremely exciting, especially if they produce to that high level that we're all us Eagles fans are expecting. I'm going to reap the benefits on the scoreboard as well. So could be a perfect world, or it could flop out. Who knows? He could get injured week one. He's known for that. So it's a risk bringing him in, but knock on wood. And dude, I'm so excited.
I love it as a contender move, trying to keep your chips in. I love the Saquon buy.
Thank you.
He
Yeah,
did it before he went to the Eagles
I
too.
had a feeling. I had the feeling. Obviously I was talking with Jesse a lot, but I don't know. I just had a feeling it was going, and then it happened. I forget, a week later or something. I was like, yes, it worked out.
That's awesome.
Called your
Because he
shot.
could have he could have leveraged some Eagles, cheesy leverage on me if that happened after. So you never know.
Absolutely. So on top of the Eagles battery, you also have four Browns, four Broncos, and four Packers, and you also have the Russ Pickens stack in Pittsburgh. How
That's
are you
right.
feeling about those offenses? Are those places you were targeting? Kind of coincidence? How do you feel about those teams?
Yeah, I mean, I call myself a decent poker player. I like to hit the tables, and I'm a big flush guy. So not
Oh,
there, maybe five. I don't know how it translates to fantasy football, but four might be enough for a flush.
Kind.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I'll start with the Browns. I mean, Deshaun really returns to form, like the Deshaun that we know. That's going to be a great offense, man. It's going to be great. And if Deshaun plays the way he should, it's going to directly translate to his ball catchers. So, and I got the top two of them. So that's going to be great. And I've had a lot of for whatever reason, Amari Cooper, never really liked him on the Cowboys. I always played against him in fantasy, never had him on my teams, and he's proven me very wrong the last few years when I've doubted him. So bringing him on the team, very excited for it.
love it.
Broncos, with the Broncos, man. Ay, ay, ay. I I mean, I love Javante. I mean, I flipped him with Brennan. That was for Jones. Jones in a second, I believe. Um, and that was, obviously very much closer to his ACL recovery. So bit of a buy low. And, I really wanted to break out last year. It didn't really happen. Stars in a line. Russ was not helping that situation. So I think with, whoever the starting QB will be, I think Javante is finally going to get unleashed.
Sure.
He's going to be fully healthy. He's still very young. And if he gets the touches, he's just going to bulldoze people fast. And I hope, hopefully it works out for that. Um,
True.
and the Packers. Yeah. Packers. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Christian love. I'm a Christian Watson believer. Love him. Um, maybe I don't know how you feel, Ryan, about it, but that trade, I mean, with JK tearing the Achilles probably didn't work out on my end.
Mm.
But still time will tell. But I'd say out of
Yeah.
those three groups, I think the Browns are going to be my most make or break. If that works out, that's going to be huge for the squad.
I gotta say, as people may remember, had a couple real dog shit years, and my return to relevance has been buoyed in getting in early on those Lions. So I could see that
There you
being the
go.
Browns. I like your Packers involvement. What was the other team? Even the Broncos. Sean Payton's got his
Yeah.
guy, I guess now. So
They
any of these offenses could really start taking you towards the top, if not multiple.
Bo knows.
I
Yeah, I only said who's going to be the starting quarterback because I do still have Zach Wilson. I want to give him a shot, so we'll see.
Yeah, and that Bo Nix is very mature. If you need any proof, our freshman year of college, I was front row college game day holding an anti-Bo Nix sign. So dude's been around.
That's
Oh my
nuts.
gosh,
Yeah. Um,
Gators.
so yeah, and what's definitely a deep class, your 11 and 14 picks should be pretty quality in
Yeah,
many ways. Is there any direction you're looking positionally, or are you looking for guys that are going to come in and make the splash now, or are you going to get a more delayed fuse? Is there any plan there?
yeah. I mean, it seems as if besides Pickens, I've made a lot of my money in the later rounds for whatever reason. My mayor. Some would call it a miss at this point with Bowers coming in. That's a toughie. Can't do much
Not,
about that.
not the
Very
mayor.
interesting pick. I mean, great for real life. They're going to run a lot of two tight end sets. It's going to be great. Fantasy football wise, not good. So I don't know, man. Best on the board is the way I usually play it. I love my running backs, love my tight ends, as you guys know. I was
Yeah,
stacked with tight end depth. So, hey, man, I doubt Bowers will be there. So I don't know. Might to be those mid tier wide receivers. I won't play my cards fully, but um, doors always open for anyone.
sure. Yeah, I mean the Bowers to Vegas doesn't help Mayer too much, but I think we've still picked your tight end room in the perfect team making wheel spinning game we've been playing every time, both times. So
Nice.
with Ferg there, and you got someone else that's pretty top tier,
Right.
That'd be
McBride.
McBride. Yeah, I mean he was a late. I got him late second round, and I got Ferg off waivers for $0. So hey, you just got to keep scrapping. That's why transactions just keep them up.
Transactions up.
One of them's gonna hit.
Um, and then we've talked about Cup a little bit. I know you were reluctant to move him last year, and I actually was looking at it today, and we had discussed a trade, but around the time that we walked away from that table, I don't think he had a sub 10 week after that. Um, is it going to be time to send him if this season starts a little poorly? Are you going to make a Diggs move, or are you still believing in his established role in LA and long term?
Yeah, I mean Puka really came onto the scene, man, really unexpectedly. I mean when I'm looking at these dynasty rankings, he's like the sixth wide receiver, fifth wide. I'm like, whoa, but maybe we should pump the brakes there. He still knew who was on that team, who's a real alpha. But no, I love Puka. And man, Cup for what he did for me, the emotional attachment. I can really see him retiring on the squad. I don't really see a situation where I'm going to be moving him for for anything less than substantial value, which, as we have discussed, is probably out the window at this point. It's kind of going to be, I need a producer right now, and he's going to still be healthy. Hopefully, years, man. The guy's a dog. He's doing his off-season training with Puka, and they're rolling, they're buddies. So I like the vibe. I'm pretty confident that he will not be leaving the squad.
Gotcha. Cool.
Nice. All right. Well, we ask it every week. What does success look like for the deep sleepers this year?
Oh man, success. I would love some success. It's going to be those young wide receivers. I need a QJ, I need a JMO, I need a Pickens to return to wide receiver one form. Um, some of those young guys got to break out, and they will be nicely complemented by my veteran room. If Saquon is what we think he'll be, um, Cup, Amari, if they produce, I'm hoping Amari still signs an extension this offseason. That was in the talks. That'd be big for his value. But man, success would look like everything working in harmony, all the guys coming together and really making some noise because I'm coming off this down year and I don't know where the expectations are for me from the league, but for myself, it's win or go home. So it's gonna be a great ride. It's gonna be exciting to watch. But yeah, success is gonna be all my heavy hitters just coming together as one. Let's hope it works out.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Looking at your team after talking today, I could totally see it where your team turns some heads this year. I could totally see it.
Yeah, I mean, people have obviously these have been being recorded for a month, maybe two now, so time has passed, but
Want that.
people have had you in there most likely to finish last answer,
Sure.
and having looked at it today, I don't see that at all.
I agree. All right. Well, another
Yeah.
how we
I
rounded up.
like it. I like it. I like playing the underdog role. It's being the underdog is fun. So it's just going to be fuel to my fire.
Bro.
You got to make the masks like the Eagles did. You got to get the dog mask.
But yours have to
Oh
say
man,
worst
it's fun.
manager.
I mean, it's always good. It's nice playing from behind. You're playing with the house money. There's not really any sort of if I don't go all the way, then what's the consensus going to be? But of course, I would like to win every year, but we know how hard that is. No one even, I mean, we're in the winner's circle here. Everybody's still looking for the second ring, and half the league's looking for the first. So, you know, it all has to, there you go. It has to all come together at one.
Got it
You
right.
got the chain. Or no, you got the, yeah.
I do have the chain, but it's not mine anymore.
Not yours. It goes to the mirror. Um,
Yeah, man.
yeah, I'm excited to turn some heads, guys. I really am. Keep sleeping on me. We're the deep sleepers. That was part of the motto.
Hey,
It really, I mean, it's a two, as you know, the other side of that sort of play on words with Deshaun, but it's certainly something that I am looking forward to. And keep sleeping, man. That's all I'll say to the league. Keep sleeping.
nice.
All right. Well, who wins? Who loses? Who's your pick for top of the ladder, and who's your pick for the bottom for this year?
Oh man. Well, you got to mention, of course, it would be you, Danny. I mean, that's you're always in contention.
The funky punch.
You got the three best wide receivers in Dynasty. That is extremely rare. You don't, if you look at anybody's Dynasty league, anybody, your boys, anybody online, you're not going to see that. That's very impressive how you built that up. Can't count you out. I think Brennan, as recent podcasts have shown, it's very much in the cards for him as well. And I think Nico deserves a shout. I mean, if his young boys really step up, I mean, that's going to be a very, very dangerous team you don't want to see on your matchups on Sundays. So, but hey, I'll be damned if I don't say myself. So,
Hey,
gotta respect the team that I got, and what else are we in it for if you don't say it's you? So I'll go with me.
Yeah.
Might be a bold take looking back at this next year, but gotta give myself the flowers there. Worst, man. Jeez. You know how hard it is to repeat. Coming off my champion season, it was so hard to keep it up. So Jesse moving off a lot of pieces, obviously the right move to get younger. He did the right things, in my opinion. I was part of that transition for him, but I think it's going to be hard for him to compete with some of the rosters that are around the league. And I hate to say it, love my boy Rob. Might be a little tough for him to get some wins together. I don't know. I feel like there might be some lurking issues in his near future. So moving off Diggs, I don't know. I guess it's a good move in terms of longevity, but in terms of next year's finish, I don't know. We'll see.
No one ever knows.
That's true.
All right. I think we got time for a little dream roster with the wheel if we want to do it.
Oh, very cool.
Let's run it. All right.
Do it.
First spin. Just reminding you guys and everyone at home, our slots are manager, quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, tight ends, draft capital, and a pass. Now, I believe we've passed on this man once before. We have Zach Fedor as our first spin. Also, to those not familiar, the three of us are all making one team together, so we vote if we're at odds. Pulling up Zach's team real quick.
Zach?
Looking at
Zach?
fees.
Oh, man.
I mean, Jacobs and Cook, you like that at running back. Zamir White, a solid kind of dice roll and an interesting dart throw piece. Receiver, he has a solid big three with Devontae, Jalen Waddle, DK. Obviously, Devontae is getting old, but he
Tank
has
Dell,
Tank Dell.
maybe
He has
Europe.
Dontavian Wicks.
Hey.
I don't hate the wide receiver room.
Yeah, I mean, the wide receivers are a competitive room to go against most of the teams in this league, so I don't hate saving that one either. But I think last time we went running backs for him.
We may have. Tight end 1 is Tanner Hudson, and if I'm correct looking at it, that's the only tight end on the
Yes.
roster.
Wow.
So
Job,
there's
Zach.
a room that could use being addressed.
I have the Dynasty Nerds app, and you can like see how the league stacks up at each position, and it like gives numerical values. Zach's tight end value in that app is 0.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Not the tight end room.
not the tight end room. And I don't love Lamar and Bryce Young too much either.
I mean, Lamar's a great start, but Bryce is just an ugly too.
I'd have to go wide receiver room if we're gonna pull some sticks here.
I think I'm going running back. So Dan, you can decide.
Yeah, I'm down for those receivers.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Spinning again. We have Luke Witt himself. I want to
Oh,
hear
no
from
way.
you where you think we should be using you.
Oh boy.
Had I known you were the transaction goat, I would have shouted you out more for manager in past episodes.
Ah, very nice.
I was gonna say,
I mean, it's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword. Once upon a time, I had McCaffrey, J. Jeff, Chubb, um, Andrews. I mean, obviously, there's moves to be made, but hey, who knows? I don't. I want to see. I want to hear what you guys got to say. What do you think? What do you think we're
All
using?
right. Well, like I said, I was surprised. I think I'm going to take you out of the draft capital conversation. But let's see. I honestly I owned Deshaun Watson and I wanted Hurts in the draft. And you have Zach Wilson and Russell Wilson, two more starters in that quarterback room,
Yes.
at least for the time being.
starters.
Starters.
Obviously you got the trio at running back, Barkley, Pacheco, Javante, and a ton of depth there. Brian Robinson on the bench.
Yeah.
And again, I'll say we already took receivers, so we can't even consider that. I think I like Luke for running backs.
I see the vision with the running back room. The tight end room has definitely taken a hit since we last talked, but it
That's
is
true.
Trey McBride, who just got Marvin Harrison, and Michael Mayer, who, as you said, just got Brock, which really sucks for Mayer.
No doubt.
I mean, it is still McBride, Conk, Ferguson, Mayer, a solid room. I do like that trio at running back. Saquon's age is a little concerning, and with Javante, who knows for sure? Like, who knows at this
Mhm.
talking to it, I like the manager. I like some of the insight I've seen
Oh
today.
man.
I've taken some lessons away. He's the manager in the mirror today. So I think that's where my vote's going. I'm going for manager.
You get to be the tiebreaker. Do you like your running backs or you want to run the squad?
Danny made my night, man. Let's go with me.
Hey, all right. Lock it in the GOAT at manager.
That's funny.
Spin it
You got to
again.
have a ring to be considered for that, by the way. Everybody watching.
Yeah.
Can't be bad, man.
Facts.
I don't know. I don't know. Just saying.
All right, we got Brennan Rouse. A lot
Ooh,
to pick from for Brennan Rouse.
there we go.
Off rip, I'm thinking maybe running backs. I forget who his QB2 is. Oh, it's
Mahomes
Purdy.
and Purdy. It
Purdy.
is hard for me to pass
Pretty,
up
pretty.
on Super Bowl.
But what about Kyren, Joe Mixon, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, and Brennan would and McCaffrey.
And Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
He
forgetting.
doesn't have
He's
him in the starting lineup.
chilling
But
on the
I
bench.
think,
He's being sneaky. We got to go with that. That's just so solid.
yeah, I think that's got to be the pick right there.
only
Nice.
one running back there is 26 or younger, but
Well,
I can't hate on it. I mean, that room's crazy.
Yeah.
so solid.
All right. So we'll do that. Now,
And we
just
get
for
to
those at
pass on
home,
the most overrated quarterback in football, Patrick Mahomes.
Ooh, you a Bills fan?
Something like that.
all right. So we have quarterback, tight ends, draft, and pass left, and we have rolled Tom Griffin.
Oh boy.
I love Tom's quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burrow and Love is a great one too. He has great capital.
Mm-hmm.
3 firsts next year.
Ooh.
Definitely not the running backs.
I mean, yeah.
Madison and CEH.
That needs some work.
I mean, after this, we have Nico, who obviously has insane draft capital. Pat, who I think doesn't have that much. Myself, who does not have that much. Jesse, who's trying to get there, but does not have his own first or second for the next 2 years. And maybe we take the draft capital while we have it, unless we want to gamble on getting Nico.
I mean, the QB room is a gamble moving forward now, but
Yeah.
I do love that draft capital. 5 firsts in the next 2 years.
I think I forgot to put you in this, Dan. I won't lie, but I just added you.
Let's go draft capital.
I'm voting
You don't
draft.
want my draft capital anyway.
No.
And we
All
do
right.
want my quarterbacks.
Spinning again. We have quarterbacks, tight ends, and pass left. And we get myself.
Uh-oh.
Pass.
Uh,
I don't know that I want my tight end.
hmm.
I can say that. I do love my Ingram edition.
Ingram's great, but that's about it.
He's gonna be very good to you. It's a good guy.
I
Wait, what's the inspiration, by the way? What were you? Did you have a sneak peek on that, or is that still in the
I
lab?
honestly still have no idea. I was kind of hoping the Metro Future album would have been good, and then I didn't like it too much, so I'm not gonna put my team on We Don't Trust You. I I
That's,
I don't
that's
mind
fair.
my quarterbacks. I like Herbo and Goff and Kirk.
That's a good combo. I was in on Goff going into that QB draft. I really like
Mhm.
Herbert. I don't know
Um,
how Harbaugh is going to affect him for fantasy. I'd be sweating that a little bit, but I do
Yeah,
like Herbert and Goff. I'm totally cool with that room.
love me some Herbie. You guys know that.
you know that. Are we locking me in for quarterback? I don't want to pass on myself.
I like it. We'll rock the QB.
All right.
We're looking for a tight end.
Come
Multiple.
on now.
All right, yeah. So we get 2 spins for tight end here.
Jesse's room is the hit right there. Kelsey and Mandrews.
But instead, we have Nico Ellis, who has
Nobody, I think.
did
Or
he
does he have
trade
Pitt?
No, he
Yeah.
traded Pitts.
He has Hawk.
He has Hawk
Who's
Wow.
hockey?
Nico.
and Kate Otten.
Yeah.
Hello.
Brevin
Um,
Jordan as well. I don't mind Brevin Jordan as my third tight end.
I could be convinced.
I mean, we could just pass on the pass. Dan's tight end room's okay. Pat's is decent, I think. I
Pats
mean,
is good. Pat's got Pitts.
oh, you know what I did, Dan? I put Pat in here twice. That's why you got skipped.
Oh my
And
God.
somehow we didn't spin him once.
Yeah, what are the odds?
Yeah, so it's just Dan, Pat, and Jesse left after that.
That's three good tight end rooms. I mean, mine's a little worse than Nico's, but Pat and Jesse's are both ones I'd probably rather have. I'd have to see Pat's.
All right. I think I think we let it ride.
I'm down. Skip. Nico deserves a skip.
All right,
He's
Nick.
too much of a
Gassed up too much on the pod.
Nico's are getting so much praise. We gotta settle him down a little bit.
yes.
And we rolled Dan Marks.
All right. Well, that's worse.
All right.
Not bad. I got a little depth at the tight end room. I got Kittle, who's, hopefully gonna be good for the next couple years. We hope we can bank on Kittle. And then
Mhm.
Dalton Schultz, Dawson Knox, both got a lot of target competition this year, which sucks. I think they're both gonna take pretty big hits, but they're fine.
We're under a minute left, so I'll rattle through the team here. Running the squad, we got the manager in the mirror transaction goat Luke Witt. His squad at quarterbacks, he has Herbert, Goff, and Kirk Cousins. Running backs, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, Kyron Williams. Receivers, he's got DK, Devontae, Dell, and Waddle. Tight ends, he's got the ones Dan just mentioned, Kittle, Komet, Knox, Schultz. And he's got Tom's draft capital, which I did not write down, but I know he at least has the 4. And 3
I'm taking that team to the promised land. Come on now.
Yeah.
Unless I trade everybody away halfway through the season, but
All right, but that's where your waiver wire acumen comes into play.
oh my, they're always waiting for you.
Any words for the league, Luke?
Yeah, I'm very excited for another year. It's been a great part.